Hey Guru, it's that time of year again when the garden starts looking really nice, so I'm going to take a little video of the garden and show it to you. So, yeah, the yard, I guess. So this is all somewhat beautiful looking. Go down here because looking up with the sun behind us, the light is best. Isn't that great? So Sarah spends a lot of time cleaning it up, and you know, it looks pretty bad in the winter because all this foliage just looks like dead plants. But you get to this time of year and it looks pretty nice. So California poppies will come in later in the year more. And Sarah actually mowed the yard yesterday, so it's all mowed. Anyway, we've got poppies over here. Sarah likes them. These California poppies are all kind of wild. We pulled them up around town and threw them here, and then they grow. Snow in summer. I don't know what these things are. Ooh, there's a big old bumblebee.
The pink things are dianthus.
And the white things are...
I don't know. I don't remember that.
something.
It's mostly died. I used to have a lot more of it.
The white things are mostly dead. Hey crew, it's Sunday, June 5th. That would be right. And I enjoyed watching your video of you making food and not talking. Wow, that's not completely true. I enjoyed the talking that you did. I enjoyed looking at you work on the Land Cruiser. I was a little bored while you were making pancakes and not talking, to be honest. Life here has been pretty good, and I'm recovering from spring soccer still. You know, it's weird. I was talking to Sarah about this because I have a certain amount of mental space to deal with things, and I don't know if it's just I'm lazy or I'm not capable of multitasking, but after a certain amount of time, you know, I deal with the things that are going to let a lot of people down if I don't take care of them, and then I sort of shut down mentally outside of that. So, you know, during soccer season, the further we get into soccer season, the less, you know, I do outside of work and soccer. So I go to work, I work, and I'm less effective at work, and then because I'm, you know, not as mentally sharp, and then I do soccer, and then I come home and I am kind of a zombie, and then it takes me a while after my time opens up again to have the space to do things. And often I watch a lot of videos or movies or something, and it takes me a week or two, and then I start kind of doing stuff again. So this weekend I felt like I kind of started doing stuff again. I started feeling a little bit more motivated and excited. And so actually yesterday I went down with Karu and we looked at guitars. I think I'm going to buy him a guitar as a graduation present, because he's been playing quite a bit lately actually. And we found this guitar that he really likes. That's a guitar designed for gypsy jazz. If you're not familiar with gypsy jazz, look it up on YouTube. Just search gypsy jazz and watch some of the guys playing gypsy jazz style guitar. I don't think Crew's necessarily interested in playing that style, but he really liked this particular guitar and the sound it made. So we'll see what happens. But it was fun going down and hanging out with him for an hour or so and watching him play different guitars and stuff. So that was good. And then after that, in the afternoon, there were a bunch of graduation parties. And so Sarah and I went to one, and then I went to a couple more of kids associated with soccer. And actually Cesar's son, Fabian, was graduating. Really nice kid. And apparently Cesar came across a bunch of the videos I made about soccer, and so he was watching them. And I think the most recent one I made of him playing soccer when I was making fun of him for hitting the ball off the crossbar and everything. So I'm sure that he's horribly offended and will never talk to me again. But anyway, it was fun. But yeah, so I enjoyed going to those graduation parties and seeing everybody graduate. And since it's Caru's graduating class, I know a lot of the kids who are graduating this year, which is pretty cool. Yeah, Sarah and Bryn went today. Bryn's friend Eleanor is staying with us for a week, I guess. She came out Friday, which is nice. And but Bryn and Sarah had a Sheltering Branch Schools Committee meeting today, and they're excited about Red Grammar being there. It looks like it's going to be really fun. They've already got over 100 people registered. They'll probably end up with around 120. We'll probably max out, actually. But Red Grammar's going to do a ton of stuff. He's really excited about it. And Celia Johnson. Was Celia there when you were there? I think she was. She's going to... she and Red are going to jointly teach some classes. And so, it should be fun. Other stuff going on. I don't know if you've been following soccer. Spain crushed the U.S. yesterday, and I wasn't able to watch the whole thing. I watched a good part of it, like 3/4 of it. I guess I missed the first goal. I saw some of the game before the first goal, and then I got up to do something and missed the first goal, and then I saw the other 3 goals. U.S. didn't play well, but played with kind of an experimental lineup. It's funny, I think I told you this, I get on Big Soccer, and I do a lot of chat on there, and I wrote kind of a review of the game in one of the threads, talking about players and rating the players. And I said, and in my comments, I said it's really tough to rate players, and it's especially difficult to rate the coaching job done in a game like this, where you're playing a friendly match. It's 3 days before the first game of a big tournament that we really want to win, and the coach is trying out a bunch of new players and a bunch of new ideas, and you can't really rate the job the coach is doing based on that, because you don't actually know exactly what he's trying to accomplish. But it's pretty clear that his main objective is not winning the game. His main objective is to test out different strategical approaches and tactical formations and that sort of thing. I guess tactical approaches. And so I put this in my comment, and a couple of people jumped all over me, but there's a lot of people out there who absolutely hate Bob Bradley. So they're gunning for him no matter what. And I don't know. I like Bob Bradley. I don't think he's the best coach in the world, but to trash him because his team lost 4-0 to Spain in a friendly match right before a big tournament where he's playing a lot of fringe players, not exactly what I would consider a good indicator. And a lot of these same guys probably, if say we had lost 4-0 in the Confed Cup in 2009 to Spain, and then we beat them in this game, it would have they would have said, well, this game doesn't count because it's a friendly. But you can have it both ways, I guess. The other thing that's happening in soccer, I don't know if you've been following this, and I can't remember if I talked to you about it. I've talked to a lot of people about it. Is the FIFA vote for the new president of FIFA happened, and there was a huge controversy in North America for CONCACAF, the Caribbean and North and Central American Confederation. CONCACAF, the head of CONCACAF is a guy named Jack Warner, who's really corrupt, and I think I've talked to you about it before. But this guy named Mohammed bin Hamad, I can't remember, it feels like I made a video about this. Anyway, they tried to bribe CONCACAF member voting states from the Caribbean, voting nations from the Caribbean, with $40,000 apiece to vote for bin Hamad for president of FIFA. And the delegate from Bahamas blew the whistle on him, told Chuck Blazer, who's the U.S. guy. He started an investigation. Warner and bin Hamad were both suspended, and so they appointed some other guy as the interim president of FIFA. And that guy immediately, the first thing he did was say that he was firing Chuck Blazer for hiring an investigator to investigate this bribery scandal. And Turns out he didn't have the authority to do that because the executive committee of CONCACAF supported Blazer in what he did, and they're the ones who have the right to fire him. So this guy came out with a statement saying Chuck Blazer was fired. The official CONCACAF news release said Chuck Blazer's not fired. This guy doesn't know what he's talking about. The guy came out with a statement the next day saying, yes, he is fired. He's breaking the law and trespassing by being in his office. And then the next couple days later, there was another thing from CONCACAF basically removing the interim president and appointing the guy from Honduras to be the new interim president of CONCACAF. Just this crazy, third world stuff, bureaucratic wrangling. Anyway, I found it very entertaining. It'll be interesting. You never know what's going to happen next. So, I don't know what else to tell you about that. Sarah's book sales have been pretty good. Actually, they've been up and down a little bit. But even on really bad days, she's selling close to 60 books. And that's the low end. And I think there's been some glitches with Amazon.com. But actually, on top of that, that's just the money she's making on Amazon.com. She found out that she's going to get additional money from Barnes & Noble. Not an insubstantial amount, not a ton, but enough to cover travel expenses to various parts of the world if we wanted to go. The last thing I want to tell you about before I get off here is, I watch, I know I've talked to you about this, John Green's videos. Also, on Twitter, I follow Maureen Johnson, who's another young adult author. And last night, she got all bent out of shape about an article in the Wall Street Journal about young adult fiction being really dark and maybe not particularly healthy for young adults to read in some cases. And she kind of went off and tweeted a bunch of stuff, and then she got a bunch of her followers. She's got like 35,000 followers or something to tweet about how great young adult is, and how it saves people because it helps them through hard times and all this stuff. And I actually went and read the Wall Street Journal article, and I'd be interested in if you can find it and read it. Maybe I'll put a link to it in here. Because I read it and I found it pretty innocuous. I don't really have a problem with parents making decisions about, or actually having the criteria associated with books to prevent their kids from reading them if they don't think it's appropriate. And whether or not you think the material in them is appropriate, I don't think that we should be censoring books and not allowing people access to them, except I want to be able to not allow my children access to books if I don't think they're appropriate, and I want to know what's in those books. And I don't have a problem with sort of a shorthand, if there was a rating system or something to help me make that decision, because I know I can't read all those books, or Sarah can't read all those books to find out. And that may or may not have been the gist of her argument, but it wasn't clear, and it seemed like a very emotional argument. It kind of bothered me because I think that I don't know. I just feel like the stories that we tell ourselves and that we tell each other shape the way that we perceive the world, and create a framework within which our actions can be judged as appropriate or inappropriate, or moral or not moral. And because of that, we have to kind of be careful about what stories we tell and the implications of that. And none of us really understand what those implications are or where those lines are. But, that there's some responsibility there to parents and to people in general to think about that. And I think that often authors don't want other people, they feel very strongly they don't want other people talking about setting criteria for what can and can't be communicated, what should and shouldn't be told. And they want that because they want the freedom to say what they think is right. But I don't know that that's necessarily a God-given right or something that's healthy for everyone. Anyway, looks like we're going to be going to hear Caru's final concert at BMCC, and so I am getting ready to go to that. If I survive that, I will remain still dead till I talk to you again. Bye-bye.